Hey guys, it's Protendo, and if there's one Nintendo-related thing you can account for every year, it's baseless rumors about yet-to-be-revealed games. 2022 has hardly begun, and yet we already have our first major rumor of the year, one people find so appealing that it has already started debates that have lasted for multiple weeks. I'm of course referring to Mario Kart 9. After an insider claimed earlier this month that Mario Kart 9 is in active development and could be seen in 2022, the Nintendo community has been obsessed with speculating about the game's gimmick, courses, and most notably, racers. For the past couple weeks, Nintendo Twitter has been a minefield in regards to Mario Kart 9's potential roster. Some people want more classic Mario representation, others want the series to become a giant crossover of Nintendo franchises, and some are sitting somewhere in between. There's probably a weird guy hoping for Baby Wario to make his playable debut. Regardless, I consider myself a man of excellent taste, so I've given myself a mission: to make a Mario Kart 9 roster so superb that it'll single-handedly unite the entire Nintendo community. Most definitely a feasible task, and one that I'm willing to give a shot. Before we begin, I should make it known that I'm giving myself a single limit: the roster size. I've restricted it to 50 characters. This still gives us the largest character selection in series history, while remaining somewhat reasonable. If I gave myself like 100 slots, there's really no fun involved, since I could practically add every major character who's being requested. It'd be like making a Smash 6 roster video and listing 150 characters. With that said, let's get started. Okay, first things first, we've got the required cast, the characters that you literally can't see Nintendo making a Mario Kart game without and are practically confirmed for the next entry. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Toad, Yoshi, Wario, Waluigi, DK, and Bowser. It's hard for me to imagine a Mario Kart 9 releasing without all of them being playable. Yes, I know that Waluigi wasn't playable in Mario Kart 7 for some reason, but I very much doubt Nintendo will make that mistake again, considering he's only become more and more popular in the decade since. Anyways, I don't think anyone's gonna argue about these guys, so let's move on to the next set. The next group of characters are a handful of extras who I feel are kind of an inevitability for the next game. Half of them are new to the series, and half are returning from previous entries, but I think they all have a place on the roster. Pauline, Luma, Toadette, and Birdo. Pauline's only become more and more popular since Odyssey, and has made an appearance in both Mario Golf and Mario Tennis since then, as well as Mario Kart Tour. If I had to bet money on a single new character for Mario Kart 9, it'd be her. Luma isn't quite as likely as Pauline, but I'm a little surprised they haven't made a playable appearance in Mario Kart yet, considering they're an extremely recognizable character. And then Toadette and Birdo are super self-explanatory. Both have been in the series before, and while Birdo wasn't in 8 or 8 Deluxe, Nintendo has been pushing her back into the spotlight as of late, with all sorts of spin-off appearances. I'd be shocked if she's not in 9. Moving on to our next spot, we've got the babies, and I could not bring myself to add more than 3. Like, I'm sorry to the 2 Baby Rosalina players who are watching this video, but you're just gonna have to find someone else to play. At least these 3 are actually characters, you know? Baby Mario and Baby Luigi have Yoshi's Island and Partners in Time, the latter of which Baby Peach is also a part of. Plus, she's got Yoshi's Island DS. The only thing Baby Rosalina has is a cannon-breaking design. No thank you, get out of here. Next, we've got some characters who many would consider one-offs, but I think have more than earned their place on the roster. At the very least to give it some more variety. Cappy, Sprixie Princess, Toadsworth, and Nabbit. Toadsworth is a clear exception to what I just said before, since he's appeared in numerous Mario games, but for some reason Nintendo likes to pretend that he doesn't exist nowadays. We need him back. Cappy is a no-brainer, especially if a certain sequel is in development, as I desperately hope it is. The Sprixies may only have 3D World to their name in terms of mainline appearances, but I think they'd be a very fun inclusion. And Nabbit is easily one of the most popular modern Mario characters who's also playable in Mario Kart Tour. He deserves to be here. Next up, we've got the DK crew. Can you believe that Donkey Kong himself was the only Donkey Kong character in 8 Deluxe? Truly disgraceful. We're going for a major expansion here. Diddy and Funky are making their return after being cut for no reason, and Dixie Kong is making her playable debut in a mainline console Mario Kart game. And as if that wasn't enough, screw it, throw King K. Rool into the mix as well. Smash Ultimate should be the spark that gets this man to start appearing regularly again, and a spot on the next Mario Kart roster is the perfect way to continue that. Now we've got the typical Bowser baddies, and I'm sorry, I just couldn't justify adding every single one. I know some people are going to be annoyed at the lack of Wiggler or Lakitu or something, but when you've only got 50 slots, you gotta make some tough calls. Bowser Jr., Koopa Troopa, Shy Guy, and Dry Bones felt like the required inclusions though, and I decided to add 2 new enemies to the mix with Kamek and Chargin' Chuck. These two are sort of on opposite ends of the spectrum, with Kamek being long overdue and Chuck being kinda random, but I think they both fit well. And outside of the typical Bowser enemies, I also want to add some villains that kinda stand on their own most of the time. Petey Piranha and King Boo make their return alongside the newcomer, King Bob-omb. Now that we've made our way through the cast of enemies, we can really get wild. I think it's important that the next Mario Kart game represents more of the Mario franchise than just the mainline games, and as such, I added some characters who are either heavily featured in spin-offs or are just plain obscure. But first, the spin-off racers. I really liked the idea of having at least one of WarioWare's memorable characters represented in Mario Kart 9, and Ashley is probably the most popular of them all, hence her inclusion. Paper Mario speaks for himself. Yes, it's a third variant of Mario, but come on, he's a different character with his own franchise under his belt, and I think he has more than earned a spot in Mario Kart. It'd also be pretty funny to make him a glider. I feel like I hardly need to justify EGAD, since he's one of the most highly requested characters from what I've seen. This guy is responsible for creating some of the most iconic devices in the Mario universe, and as the Luigi's Mansion franchise continues to grow, it would be crazy not to throw him in. And then, the character who I would most certainly main, Fawful. The Mario & Luigi series is incredibly well known, and while its fate is currently undecided, I feel like it'd be great to throw its most iconic character into Mario Kart. Not only to get more representation from Mario's large catalog of RPG games, but as a show of respect for Alpha Dream. I miss them every day. Next, we've got some characters who definitely don't have to be here, but I thought their inclusion would be funny. Someone's gonna throw a fit over me adding a Dr. Mario virus over Baby Rosalina, but come on, are you seriously telling me you wouldn't play as a Dr. Mario virus? That's the kind of Mario Kart wackiness we need more of. Pianta is another pick, but one that I think works really well. I mean, we've got Mario 64 representation with King Bob-omb, Galaxy representation with Rosalina and Luma, 3D World representation with the Sprixie Princess, and Odyssey representation with Pauline and Cappy. Who's gonna represent Sunshine? I mean, I guess you could say Petey Piranha, but do you know what'd be funnier? A Pianta. And finally, Wart. He's made a single appearance, and yet it kind of feels like he deserves to be here. Maybe that's just me. Either way, another heavy villain would be a lot of fun. And that's it for the Mario characters. The rest of the cast will be building off of the crossover idea set up by Mario Kart 8. If it wasn't clear, yes, I'm more in favor of expanding the Mario roster with more obscure characters than turning the series into a full-on crossover a la Smash Bros. But that doesn't mean that the crossover concept can't be pushed a little further. Hopefully I can satisfy both groups by adding more Mario characters and more Nintendo characters. With that said, let's go over the returning racers first. If Isabelle made it in before New Horizons, there's no way she wouldn't be in after New Horizons. As I'm sure some of you noticed, I actually removed the Villager Racer, mostly because I didn't think they were necessary. This isn't like Smash Bros, where every character has a distinct moveset, so having an avatar character that you can't customize in Mario Kart seems a little pointless. And Isabelle represents the franchise just fine. Inkling is pretty self-explanatory. Splatoon is becoming one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, so they won't be removed, and Link is even more self-explanatory. It's Zelda. But now we've got the new guest characters, and while I couldn't include every single highly requested Nintendo character, I was pretty satisfied with my selections. First things first, Kirby. Kirby would be perfect in Mario Kart. Can you imagine him driving a little Warp Star themed car around the track? It's perfect. It's everything I need in life. Samus would also be a great fit, and I'm down with anything that'll make Metroid even more popular. Captain Falcon is Captain Falcon. I mean, come on, the guy had 2 courses dedicated to his series in 8, and yet he wasn't playable. Racing is literally his thing, and Nintendo, if you're not going to give him a new game, you can at least give him this. And last but not least, Rob. I know he's not a new character since he was playable in DS, but I would absolutely love to see him return, especially since his presence in a post-crossover Mario Kart makes much more sense than his presence in DS did. Also, Mii's are also part of this roster obviously, I just didn't feel like ruining the perfect grid. But that's it for my ideal Mario Kart 9 character selection. There's something else I should mention before ending the video, and that's alternate costumes, because I did make this roster with those in mind. If you're upset at the absence of someone like Metal Mario, Dry Bowser, Koopa Paratroopa, or even new characters like Gooigi, just know that I imagined them being selectable from the character they're based on. Heck, I even imagined the Koopalings being selectable from Bowser Jr., even if that's technically cheating since they all have vastly different sizes and weight classes. But whatever, they can be excluded for all I care. Throw them to the dump, they can hang out with Baby Rosalina. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. Was my Mario Kart 9 roster ideal? And if not, what would your ideal Mario Kart 9 roster look like? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Mario Kart 9 videos. I'll see you all later. Protendo, out.